Today out at the Aviva Stadium is the prize for the winners of the semi-finals in the FAI Junior Cup. Later we'll see the best of the action from Sheriff IC and Janesboro FC, but first we're here in the Midlands as St Peter's, who were beaten finalists in 2009, face 2011 winners Pike Rovers here in Tullamore. Now let's get the views from both camps.
I think it's massive, not just for the players but for the club. The people of Athlone, it's a major tournament, and I suppose we started a long time ago. We've been on the road for every round, bar this round here. So yeah, it's a massive motivation for the players.
How does the underdogs tag sit with you?
Yeah, well, in fairness, you know, we're a small club from Athlone, and in fairness to Pike, they have a great tradition and a great history. But again, you know, yeah, we're underdogs, we just deal with that.
I went up to see them there a couple of Thursdays ago, and I think they won 4 or 5-1. So, you know, they've had some good wins in this. They went away to Evergreen and they won. They went away, won on penalties with Westport. So they obviously have a little bit about them. And look, we'll see what happens. I'm nervous, but I'm expecting a big performance from my lads. You know what I mean? And I think it's good that the lads are nervous as well, a small bit. You know, but you know, I heard you asking the other gentleman there about being the favourites and all that, but you know, it really doesn't matter. You know, it's 90 minutes here, and hopefully we can push it home and get back there, since, because as you say, 2011 since we played there, you know.
I'm joined now by pundit Alan Cawley. Alan, Pike Rovers, they're second favourites to win the tournament this season. They've scored 8 goals without reply in the last 2 rounds. They'll be confident ahead of this tie.
Yeah, extremely confident, and why wouldn't it be when you just read out the stats like that, Jar? To be fair, the last couple of rounds they've been excellent, obviously scoring plenty of goals, and they've only conceded 2 goals on the whole route to the semi-final as well, so they've a really good defensive record as well. So you can see just the task that faces St Peter's here tonight, but they have home advantage as such, kind of not obviously in Athlone in Tullamore, but they do have home advantage, and they'll try and make that count for what it's worth tonight. It's tricky conditions as well, as you can see. It's not the greatest nights for cup football, but that could play into their favour as well. It might be a leveller for them, but you would have to fancy Pike Rovers considering the form in the competition so far.
Now Peters, they are the underdogs, but they've plenty of League of Ireland experience in their side.
They do, that young lad in Colo is with Longford, and obviously Noel McGee as well up front as well, and they'll be looking for him. He has a lot of experience, and they'll be looking for him to score the goals. He scored in a few in the competition so far, so they'll be looking towards them players. But I think it's probably about the team tonight, and once they impose themselves as best they can on Pike Rovers and try and get that result that they're after. Obviously there's such a carrot dangling in front of both of these teams with the opportunity of playing in the Aviva, as we all know, so it's a huge incentive for them. But as I say, cup football, as we keep saying in this competition, it's all about on the night, Jar, and hopefully the best team will come through.
Now Pike are without their captain Wayne Colbert. How big a factor will that be?
I think it will be a big factor, because you don't want to go into a semi-final without your captain. Wayne has obviously huge experience as well, played for Limerick in the League of Ireland, so he has a lot of experience. But Pat Mullins will step in as the captain, and I'm sure he'll deputise fine. Wayne is a loss in midfield as well. He's a combative character, I know from playing against him myself over the years, so they will miss him, but I'm sure they have enough quality that they'll fancy their chances of getting through tonight.
Thanks, Alan. Now joining Alan in the commentary box is Bernard O'Toole.
Well, St Peter's may be the surprise package of the semi-finals, but they beat former winners Westport United en route to today. And indeed, speaking of wins, a narrow win over River Valley Rangers last time out with a goal from Noel McGee. 23 goals from the striker this season. He is their go-to man up front, and 5 of this 11 have League of Ireland experience. Well, Pike's win over Glengad last time out came at a cost. Captain Wayne Colbert sent off in that game. He misses out today, so Jason Mullins starts, and Pat Mullins will wear the armband today. This Pike side only conceded 2 goals in their 7 Junior Cup matches so far. "90 minutes and possibly more will separate the two sides." Well defended from the left full-back position by Edward O'Donovan. 2 brothers in this team today for Pike Rovers. Pike in their traditional green and white hoops. The home side changing their colours. Pike Rovers, of course, looking for 5 trophies this season. Former winners back in 2011. Never won an FAI Junior Cup final, however, at the Aviva Stadium. Donovan just couldn't find his man. As ever, McGee, the target, down through the centre. Comes back now to O'Donovan. That's a good ball, and Scullion involved with the last-ditch challenge. calls for a free kick, and they're going to get one now. The referee's called it back. He looked for a second to play advantage. It wasn't coming, and that was good refereeing. It's going to be a free kick in a good area now. Free kick, Pike Rovers. It's of course a Pike Rovers side who have scored 8 goals in their last 2 games, and the goalkeeper parries it away. Not under a huge amount of pressure, but taking no risk whatsoever on that occasion was Keith Hines. Slick ball. Clearance, not a good one. The goal kick, should I say, not a good one. McGee, we all know what he can do from here. McGee! Saved by the goalkeeper, he spilled it out though, and it's knocked behind for the corner kick. But with 23 goals this season, the former Athlone town player was flagged up pre-kickoff as a danger man, and showing exactly his worth there. An almost elite goal.
Excellent strike from McGee, Bernard, as you say, and a good save from Gary Neville in the goals, but it came from a poor kick out from him. It dropped to McGee and he caught it lovely, and it was a great strike, but a good save.
Further wide of the goalkeeper, and it would have been 1-0. And generally 1 goal and 1-0 is good enough in this cup run for Peters. Headed away at the near post. Back out to McGee again, takes his time before lining it up towards the far post, and there was options arriving and almost headed home from Mark McConnell. 2 quick chances in quick succession.
Dangerous ball into the box, and again it's that man McGee involved. Really decent strike, more cross-come shot that one, Bernard, but you can see why he scored so many goals this season. Real dangerous player, real life for a goal. Any chance he gets, he's looking to get a strike off. I think it's snow now, the conditions are horrendous. I feel for the players because it's really difficult, but this is the hand they've been dealt if you want to play in the Aviva Stadium.
Alan Cawley with that latest weather report. We have more from Alan as the match continues.
I think it's gusting from left to right now at this stage. Look at that.
Yeah. Martin King out of a job. Was well played on that occasion by McCann.
Excellent play in midfield by McGann. McGann is very good on the ball.
Hanrahan. And he was just getting into a good position. That is going to be the first booking of the game. Nice bit of trickery by Hanrahan, who has been a real bright spark in this half for Pike Rovers. And a round of applause from both sets of supporters for Hanrahan. Never nice to see a player leave the field of play on a stretcher. It looks in this second half like the conditions, well, they certainly have got worse.
Oh, they've deteriorated something unbelievable, Bernard. The first half was bad, but this is really, really dreadful conditions. And as I said in the first half, you feel for the players because probably some of their biggest night of their lives, biggest games of their life, with an opportunity to play in the Aviva Stadium, and this is the conditions and the hand they're dealt. It's really, really disappointing for them.
Awful conditions, really, really poor for both sets of players and also supporters. Big occasion, FAI Junior Cup semi-final, the Aviva Stadium beckoning for the winners, the eventual winners. Not exactly conditions you would associate with early April.
You wouldn't even associate these with middle of December. Never mind early April.
It's safe to say Alan Cawley not entirely happy with the conditions. If we can switch off the sleet come snow. Well, the referee, Conor Byrne, just consulting with his officials. The weather really has got bad, and I suppose the big issue now, Alan, is if they can see the lines. And
that's the question, Bernard. How can they when it's actually snow is so strong and it's they really are struggling. The referees, he's having a word with the fourth official, but they are struggling. They're having a word with the manager now, and it's really, really difficult. And this is borderline abandonment, definitely.
Well, they are coming across because what was some sleet in the first half has really turned to nasty conditions. Safety an issue now, and also visibility. So that is that match abandoned, and well, you can see why. The conditions absolutely terrible, and so we're no closer to knowing which one of these two sides will go forward to the FAI Junior Cup final. We'll have to do it all again to find out if it is St. Peter's or Pike Rovers who'll advance to the FAI Junior Cup final.
Difficult. First half wasn't too bad, the conditions were a bit soggy underfoot, but once it started snowing it became very difficult, and I think the ref in the end made a right call.
The reality is that it was starting to get dangerous. Underfoot conditions were getting very wet, very slippy, and the players' safety was paramount in the decision. Plus, as you can see, visually it was getting difficult to see my assistants on both sides. It was getting difficult to see the markings on the pitch, and with so much at stake, nobody wanted to make any mistakes that would lead to wrong decisions being made or players being hurt. So after consulting both managers and my fourth official, we all decided that was the best course of action.
So as you can see, conditions have worsened here in Tullamore and the match has been abandoned. I'm joined now by our pundit Alan Cawley. Alan, the match abandoned, was it the right call?
100%, Jerry. Yeah, Conor Byrne, the referee, made the right call. You can see the conditions deteriorated rapidly really over the half-time break. They were pretty bad in the first half, but when we came out for the second half, they were really, really dreadful. And the players had no chance whatsoever of giving themselves the best opportunity of advancing to the final. And I think that was key. Obviously, player safety is number one. But secondly, I think he got it right in terms of giving the players that best opportunity, as I say, of making the final in the Aviva Stadium. So I think he consulted both managers, and I think they agreed on it as well, and he 100% got the call right. So we'll have to do it all over again.
We will indeed. Thanks, Alan. So after the break, we'll see the second semi-final between Sheriff YC and Janesboro FC. Welcome back. As you can see, we've left the snow behind us and we're here now at Frank Cook Park for the second semi-final between Sheriff YC and Janesboro FC. Can Sheriff reach their fourth final in 5 years, or can Janesboro upset the odds? I'm joined now by pundit Alan Cawley. Alan, Sheriff are favourites here today, but with that favourites tag comes a bit of pressure.
It does, but they're very experienced, Ger, so I think they can handle that. They've reached this stage of the competition for the past 4 years, obviously losing the final last year, and they're well used to getting to finals. You only have to see how successful they've been in recent times. They're in the latter stages of every competition that they enter, so I think the favourites tag is probably no burden on them whatsoever. They'll be well able to handle that.
Then you've Janesboro. They've never been in the final before, but they've only conceded one goal in 630 minutes of Junior Cup football. They'll be tough to beat.
They will. It's an impressive start, Ger, as you say, only conceded one goal in the competition. Defensively, that tells you obviously they've been excellent. They also have a lad up front, the captain Shane Clark, who gets their goals, so they're very good up at the top end of the pitch and obviously at the bottom end as well. So they'll be under no illusions just how difficult this task is, obviously coming up to play Sheriff today in Dublin. But they will fancy their chances, I'd say, slightly. As you say, they are the underdogs in cup football. Anything can happen on the day.
Sure can. Thanks, Alan. Joining Alan now in the commentary box is Bernard O'Toole.
Well, Sheriff squad reads a who's who of Junior Cup football. This is a club bidding for 5 trophies this season. 2 changes following the win over Kilbarrack, 1 enforced. Jeff Flood is suspended after being sent off in that game. Anto Kavanagh comes into the fence, while Mark Higgins is chosen ahead of Thomas Dunn. Well, Janesboro FC come into the game having won their first trophy of the season in winning the Munster Champions Cup last weekend, where they beat Newmarket Celtic. They beat the same opposition in the quarterfinals here. Shane Clark is their captain and top scorer up front. His brother Thomas marshals a defence that has conceded just 1 goal on this cup run. So referee John Dwan ready to get us underway. Will it be Sheriff YC qualifying for their 4th final in 5 years, or can Janesboro eventually get themselves to an FAI Junior Cup final at the Aviva Stadium? 90 minutes and possibly more will separate the two sides. And as ever, looking for the width, wide left, now possession with Aaron Noonan. Looking for the release, it was well read by Lynch. A little ball over the top for Rock, who will be the lone frontman today for Sheriff, as he always is. Nice ball sent in, and the goalkeeper watched it go wide. He got a little touch on it. Played up along the carpet. The shot comes in from Rock. It was well charged down by that Janesboro defence. Still there for Rock. And back in, testing ball sent in. They still haven't dealt with it. Janesboro, and the shot eventually goes wide of the target. Well, 2 chances in quick succession for Sheriff. Looking to hit the front right from the start here. Well headed away by Hurley. Murphy. Seen plenty of the ball on this right-hand side, and he's done well here. Murphy 3 to aim at through the centre as it comes across, and the goalkeeper claims it. Took 2 bites at it, but once again Murphy involved in all that's good about Sheriff. Rock, the target man, it's gone over him, but they got in behind here, and it goes harmlessly across the face of goal. But just for a second it looked like Sheriff were going to be presented with a good opportunity. Higgins, Rock. Goalkeeper clears it away as the shot comes in from a long way out, and no danger whatsoever to the goal.
No, limp effort in the end by Darren Dunn. He's capable a lot better than that, but Janesboro have settled into the game well, Bernard. 15 minutes, he'd be delighted with the start. They've looked dangerous from a couple of set pieces, so far so good for them.
Could be in behind here. Murphy's got around the goalkeeper. It's 1-0. First blood to Sheriff in the blink of an eye. Having spent so much of the opening 15 or so minutes here defending, they take the lead.
Just as I was saying, Janesboro were doing well, Bernard. Just a long, hopeful punt by Kavanagh. They were asleep at the back, but Murphy was alive, got in behind, and a really good finish. Keeper was slow off the line as well. You could ask a question mark to him, but a really good finish from Murphy. And he's capable of that. He pops up with important goals. He done it in the quarter-final as well against Kilbarrack. And they'll be bitterly disappointed, Janesboro, to give away such a sloppy goal.
Boyle, Tierney, back to the throw taker, Boyle. Well looked after there. Clark just turns, tries to find a little half a yard to get a shot away. He's in here, it's 1-1! Clark with the tee up, and the finish is by Noonan. Huge drama inside the opening 20 minutes. An instant response from Janesboro, and once again a tidy finish by Noonan.
To say you're at your most vulnerable when you've just scored, Bernard, and that's certainly the case, but brilliant play by Shane Clark, holding off 2 defenders and plays a really cute little pass into Noonan, and he really took the finish very well. Lee Murphy tried to come out and close the angle, but a great finish from Noonan, and Janesboro are back in the game.
Rock, Leicester, free kick for Sheriff. Sheriff looking to retake the lead from this free kick. Knocked in over the goalkeeper, and it's watched all the way by Stephen Walsh. Rock with the layoff. Sean Murphy. Good pace, and he's won a free for his side. A sheer persistence. Good play by Murphy.
Play, but I didn't think there was much in that, Bernard. It was soft enough. The referee's given the free. Again, a good opportunity for them. Kevin Lynch will come across and take it. We know all about his deliveries as well. He's a really good sweet left peg on him, so he'll be hoping to put a really good ball into the box.
Worth noting, 2-1 good enough for Sheriff YC in the previous 2 rounds, and they'd love to retake the lead here.
They took the lead and then they scored straight away.
Lofted in towards the far post, the header! It's 2-1! Perfect scoreline, but they've won their last 2 games with a great header at the back post, and Sheriff retake the lead.
Well, we spoke about Lynch's delivery, Bernard, and it was a great ball into the box, but a man getting on the end of it who you wouldn't really expect with his aerial ability. Darren Dunn, he's more known for his technical ability, but he popped in at the back post and it was a really good header. But Janesboro, again, if Sheriff carve you open, you'll say fair enough, but if you're conceding goals from a set piece, they'll be really disappointed.
O'Mara stood up. Clark's the target, goes down, and it's going to be a free kick. Clark, as ever, the target man, the captain and star striker. Shane Clark, 41 goals this season. That was well saved by Murphy. Diving away to his left, the attack is still alive in there as it comes out as far as Thomas Clark.
Great save from Lee Murphy. Bernard Clark, as we said, stepped up with the free kick, but it was a really good save from Murphy.
Plenty on that. as you would expect. Clark is the target man. Well, he was fouled in the air by John Lester. Inside the final 5 minutes of the opening half, and Clark's effort initially comes off, and the second one was really close. First effort off the wall, back out to him, and how about that for a follow-up effort? Well stood up for Rock. They could be in here again, patiently done, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and it's a big save. Good break right down through the centre, and the goalkeeper was big and strong when he needed to be most. Lynch, back in, header, and it's over the bar. That was almost 3-1.
Yeah, fabulous play by Sheriff YC. First of all, it was John Rock, ball laid into him, and Darren Dunn made a brilliant run off him. Lovely little touch. Went by the defender, and he probably should have scored. Good save by the keeper. Then the ball came in from Kevin Lynch, and Darren Dunn again getting on the end of it.
Good ball in, and Murphy gets it away, and the shot in the end, just when the goalkeeper was on the deck and out of position. Shot comes in, but it's gone wide from Stephen Bradley. Murphy, Rock. Good lay off to Murphy once again. He's done really well as he goes through, Murphy. But in the end, the door slammed shut by Thomas Clark. Good defending from the centre half. But still, Sheriff come. Again, it's Sean Murphy. Rock. Not a good first touch, gets his shot away in the second, and is sent in. It's 3-1, and perhaps now that could be that. Murphy and Rock involved, and in the end it was an easy finish.
Yeah, superb play down the right hand side again. The two Murphys involved, but it was Paul. He's been the driving force all day, Bernard, winning the ball back, eventually getting across into the box. Rock done really well because it was a difficult ball to control. Got a shot off, but it was Higgins in the middle, and I think at 3-1 now they've been very good in this second half, Sheriff.
Tierney, good ball in. Kavanagh with the header away. Still there for Janesboro. Back out to Tierney again. Gets himself that little bit of space to get the cross in towards the far post, and the header. And it's cleared off the line. Nothing going Janesboro's way. It's Darren Dunn who was back there, clearing that one off the line, as he did in the quarter-final as well. Walsh. Not a good clearance by the goalkeeper, Rock. And they could be in here again. Is there to be a fourth goal for Sheriff? Oh, almost. Well, how close was that? It all came from a bad kick by the goalkeeper. But what followed was clever, and what followed almost ended up with a fourth goal for Sheriff. It's all one-way traffic in the second half.
It sure is, and that definitely would have wrapped it up at a 4-1.
Good ball out wide. Is there another goal as it comes across? Rock! That's the seal. And that's number 4. John Rock with the goal. He scored some crucial goals in this cup run and previous FAI Junior Cup runs. And he finishes well. He was never going to miss from there.
He's been very good in this second half. As we said, Bernard, everything that's been good about him has gone through John, and he's topped it off with his goal there right at the death. Good play by Joe Neal coming out from the back. Easy enough finish. But at that stage, Janesboro, the heart and soul has gone out of him in this second half.
For the 4th time in 5 years, it's Sheriff YC who advanced to the FAI Junior Cup final. Winners in 2012, winners in 2013, runners-up in 2015. Just what will 2016 hold? Well, we'll find out at the Aviva Stadium on the 14th of May. First half goals from Sean Murphy and Darren Dunn, and the seal added with goals from Mark Higgins and John Rock in the second half. Full time here, Sheriff YC 4, Janesboro 1.
Paul Murphy, you're the Aviva man of the match, and here to present you with your award is Dave Farrell from Aviva.
Thank you.
Paul, you're through to the Junior Cup final. You must be delighted.
Over the moon from the disappointment of last year. Hopefully we put it right this year. It's needed.
You mentioned last year, did you use that as motivation?
Oh, we did, yeah. It plays in your mind. Like, it's something you'll never forget, losing the Aviva. So, yeah, it was big motivation for us.
45 minutes, we competed. We created 3 or 4 great chances. And the second half, to come out of the dressing and not play in the second half was very disappointing. That's the disappointing thing about it. Look, you lose games, you win games, but sometimes you're leaving behind at this stage of a competition. There's a question as to what if we shut up in the second half very disappointed.
And what was
Created 3 or 4 great chances, and the second half to come out and address them and not play in the second half was very disappointing. That's the disappointing thing about it. Look, you lose games, you win games, but sometimes you're leaving behind at this stage of a competition. There's a question as to what if we shut up in the second half. Very disappointing.
I thought especially what we done in the second half, I really thought we controlled it, and chances came at important times in the game and we took them. Yeah.
Was experience key?
Possibly it could be experience. Yeah. This is another final now. Getting to the Aviva's 3rd time now, been there, and I'd say in the finals, yeah, experience will always come into it. Yeah.
You must be delighted after last year's disappointment to be back there again.
Yeah. Listen, it's a special occasion. It's a big day for any player to get there. Now the club has been there now 3 times. You know, it'll be like the first time going there again.
So, Alan, what did you make of that?
I thought Sheriff in the second half, they really upped their ante and upped the intensity levels. In particular, I thought Janesboro were very good in the first half. Sheriff were probably off the pace a little bit, but they still went in 2-1 up. Janesboro they'll be disappointed with the goals conceded in the first half. And as I say, to go in 2-1 down, they will be disappointed. But I'm sure Alan Riley got stuck into them at half time, because the second half there was only one team in it. They were totally dominant, Sheriff, and they ran out comfortable winners in the end, and full value for that victory. I thought in the second half they were really, really good.
Yeah, it really was one-way traffic in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. As you say, they were poor enough, because the standards that they've set themselves over recent seasons, they would have been disappointed with how they played in the first half. But in saying that, we're still 2-1 up, so it was a good thing to actually be going in still ahead. But in the second half, they definitely came out. They got more balls into John Rock up front. They played off him, a lot of runners from midfield, because I felt in the first half he was isolated. They never really got up in support of him. But in the second half, they done that far better. Runners from midfield, Darren Dunn, Sean Murphy on the right hand side as well. And as I say, they ran out comfortable winners. Janesboro, the life and soul went out of them in that second half once they went 3-1 behind.
And Sheriff back in the final after last year's disappointment. They'll be hard to stop. I know we don't know who they'll be playing yet. Yeah,
well, after the snow in Tullamore, God knows who will be playing. But yeah, they'll be tough to beat. But they've been tough to beat all through the competition, you know. And they've done it the hard way. They've beaten North End, they've beaten Fairview Rangers, Kilbarrack in the previous round, and now they've obviously beaten Janesboro today. So they've certainly gone about it the hard way. And whoever they do face in the final, they'll be up against a stiff task to beat this Sheriff side.
Kevin, did you enjoy that?
I did, Jay. It was a really good game. I mean, pretty off the back of what Alan's saying there, I thought Janesboro in the first half were excellent. I think they created chances. Big lad up front, the number 9, struggled with the names, but he was excellent, holding the ball up really well. Clark, you know, created a couple of chances for himself as well. And I thought they were unlucky at half time. I think they should have gone in at least on level terms, probably should have been in front. So, and as maybe Alan said, I think it was the 3rd goal from Sheriff. It just knocked the wind out of them, and it just killed the game from their point of view, really.
So now Sheriff are through to the final at the Aviva Stadium. Pike, Rovers and St Peter's be hoping to join them. You've played there. Just how special is it?
No, it's great. It is, you know, fabulous to play in that stadium, and I'm sure they'll all enjoy it. You know, being part of this last season as well. Speaking to the guys at Sheriff, they'll be looking to, you know, to turn around last season after getting beat at the Aviva themselves. So it's it's a fabulous stadium to play at, and you know, just hopefully that the next semi-final can be played now after Alan suffered last night down in Tullamore.
I think we all suffered. That's good.
Trying to warm up. He was the one that was crying the most, though, Joe. I didn't see anybody else. He was the one that was telling me. He was in tears. He was, yeah.
So it's the Aviva Stadium for Sheriff YC, but we'll have to wait a little longer to see if St Peter's or Pike Rovers will join them on May 14th. We'll see you then.